Hi, this is Mahesh Kosuri. Here we are going to discuss of SAP Business Warehouse or Data Warehouse System. Okay, in the last two videos, we have discussed like what is the data warehouse system, what is the OLTP, OLAP systems, and in SAP, how do we design our data warehouse system, right? So let us see first how the SAP system looks like. Okay, then I will explain you how to design the data warehouse system. What are the objects are required? Of course, in the last video, I have told you like in SAP system we create one characteristic info object and key figure info object also, right? So let us connect it to the SAP system first. Okay, then we create the required objects. Okay. So to connect to the SAP system, actually in the lower versions like BW 7.4, I think till BW 7.4, I think we used to connect to the SAP GUI. Generally, we call it as the SAP GUI. This is the SAP login icon you are seeing on the screen, right? So this kind of login generally we use, and here we add the required systems by we add required systems by selecting the new. Here you can see connection. We establish all the connections and we go to the next. Here we give the application server details and instance number, system id. So once you give your server details here, so that we can connect it to the server, and it will show you like this. You can connect to whatever the system you want to connect. You just maintain your connection here, and so that you can connect to the system. Now also we can connect, but now in the sense in the BW 7.5 also you can connect to the same like that, but there are a lot of limitations to create the objects. Okay, if I connect it to this one, suppose, let me give you the credentials somewhere I have maintained. Here I'm giving credentials. Okay. So my credentials are here. I'm entering. Once you connect to your BW system, not only the BW, even the SAP system also, you can see the similar screen. Whether it is the S4 HANA or ECC or BW system. Here first you go to the SAP Easy Access. Okay, here whatever the favorites are, you are authorized to do the activities on the SAP system, it will show you. Okay, here you can SAP menu items, it will show, and these things you see these items also, right? And here you can see the some menu, edit. So these are the things. Here one thing you can see, new GUI window, right? You can open these kind of sessions. Actually we have connected to one session, right? Whenever you log into the any system, that is nothing but one session. You are creating one session. So you can create six sessions like this by just clicking this icon. You can create six sessions. Here you can see in the right bottom it is showing how many sessions you open. BW7 2 it is showing. So you connected to the two sessions so far, right? Here it is showing some information. What is this transaction, what program in the backend, what program it has run, and who is the user connected to, what is the client name, what is the system name. Every information here you can see, right? This is the system actually. In SAP, generally to run any program, SAP has delivered some codes. Generally we call them as transaction codes or T codes we call them. T code is nothing but a program that will run behind the behind the screen actually. Okay, it is connected to one T code. So once you enter the T code, it will call one program and it will execute and it will give you the result. Like that, they simplified. Instead of remembering the code in our, instead of remembering the program in our mind, program name in our mind, and lengthy programs. So all those things we have simply avoided by replacing the programs with, by renaming the, or by joining the program with one uh, transaction code. Like that they have designed. So here to connect it to the BW system or administrator workbench or data warehouse workbench, there is a transaction code RSA1 generally we call. So it is nothing but SAP T code. Okay. If you use this T code, you can connect it to the data warehousing workbench. Here itself it is showing like data warehousing workbench and modeling. So like this it is showing. So it is nothing but data warehousing workbench. This is so workbench. We know the meaning of the workbench. That workbench generally we use to create something or designing the something, right? We use all the tools and we generally we develop something that is useful for the this thing. So here also this workbench we use to create the objects and designing the data warehouse system. And here you can see modeling. First important thing is the modeling. This modeling generally we use to design the data warehouse system. Here you can see favorites, history, data flows, info objects, info sources, data sources, source systems, different type of objects generally we create in the modeling section. So as I said, like modeling is nothing but designing your data warehouse system. Okay. Here what we create, info objects we create. We discussed it, right? This one, info objects. In the last video, I said, what is the info object? It is nothing but storing the data. What data you store? I have given you an example in the last session, right? Uh, Let me open the dashboard. Yeah, what we discussed in the last video, just we have taken one example, customer, right? Customer and some, say suppose one retail stop or retail stores we have taken example, and here the customer. Okay, let's start from here. Okay, here is the customer, right? Here we store all the customer information. Like what is the customer information? Here we maintain, this is what we discussed, right? Customer ID we maintain. This customer ID we join to the customer information. And of course, customer we maintain one hierarchy also. And customer, SAP has provided one facility that you can provide the customer name, full name. You can provide in the different format in the sense you can maintain short test and medium name, or long test you can maintain. SAP has provided like this. Of course, you can provide your test in the different languages also. SAP will support you to maintain your data in the different languages. Of course, other software products also supporting. Here also it has maintained. So customer ID we said, and here customer ID, the additional information in the sense like you can assume like age, uh, country or region, his ethnicity. So these kind of parameters you can assume that that is the extra information of the customer. And here we can maintain the hierarchical structure. I want to see the customers in hierarchical way. In which region, who are the customers, in which group, which ethnicity group, who are the customers. So like that also I want to filter the data. And of course, mostly hierarchies we use generally to show the data in the aggregate mode. I will show you the example later. Okay. So this is how SAP system design customer table. I mean, any master data table. We discussed what is the master data and what is the transaction data, right? Say suppose if the customer purchases any customer, suppose if he purchases something, so this is the customer, and so here you can maintain the sales information like sales discounts you can maintain and total discounts you can maintain. So this is the customer information we maintain as the master data. I told you this is the master data we maintain. Why we are calling it as a master data, that also I explained in the last video, that it remains constant for quite some time, because his age is constant, his ethnicity is constant, right? So those kind of parameters are constant. You do not need to change it regularly. Probably if his age changes only once in a year, you will change, right? Like that, it won't be changed every day or very regularly. Very rarely that master data will be changed. That is the reason we say that this is the master data. SAP has classified this data as the master data, and this sales discount and totals, this is all we call it as the transaction data, because everyday transactions happens in our OLTP system. Everyday transactions happens. The transactions we will bring into the data warehouse system, designed data warehouse system. That's what happens, right? So like that, this is the customer object we need to create in our BW system. Okay, that's what we are trying to create. Not only the customer object, these are the additional fields are here, right? Sales, discount, and total also here. So these are the additional fields in this table. If you create the customer table, you cannot maintain the transaction data, right? You cannot maintain the transaction data, because if you maintain the customer, to maintain the customer data, you need to create one object. That one we call it as characteristic info object. This one also we have discussed, right? Just it is the recap of what we discussed in the last video. So here in this modeling part, actually we create those info objects. Here you can see info object, right? In this info object screen, if you go here the thing is we consider everything as an object. The backend, the system backend, it will create the required metadata tables. All the dictionary metadata dictionary tables it will create, and it will store the tables in other respective databases where the what type of database the customer uses is using. There it will create the respective tables, and it will store the data. Okay, so here we are using the screen to create the metadata objects. Actually, these are the objects. These objects will create the metadata. That metadata will be stored in your database. So if you go here, it is showing some. You can see this symbol. It is nothing but this one. We call it as the info area. We call it as the info area. This one, this symbol, if you see, it is info area. Info area is nothing but collecting the object. It is just a folder only. SAP calling it as the info area, but it is just a folder only. Okay, so we create one info area, and whatever the objects required for us, those are all the objects we put into one single folder. Okay, so yeah, here, that's what here we need to do. So create info area. Even right click here, you can create info area. But if you create info area here, say suppose if I go here it is showing create info object catalog. Let us try to create the characteristic info object. Okay, so first let me create one info area. Let us create our own info area here. Okay, I'm creating one info area. As I said, like it is just a folder only. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, uh, what info area this is, let us say dealer dealer master data related objects. These are all. Okay, so here I will say I will take vehicle as an example. Vehicle objects I will keep. Let us give description also the same. Remove the space. Vehicle objects I have created here. Here is you see on telescope icon, right? Go here. You can search for your object. Right? Is it not allowing? Not sure whether it will allow here the objects. Okay. Okay. One more thing. Let us discuss one more thing here. Okay. So let us go and check the system information here. Here you go system and status. So if you go here, you can understand what are the components has been installed. I mean, what is the version installed in this BW system. Here you can see BW HANA it is, right? And platform ID 390, it is showing what is the system status it is showing. This is the one it has installed. This is the version it has installed, and operating system is Linux, and your database is HDB. So what happens? SAP actually stopped to use the data warehouse workbench modeling screen to create the objects. That's what happened actually. So that's why here we are not able to create the objects, but display only it is available now. Okay, you whatever you create in other area, those objects are you can view from this modeling screen. But where do we create the objects? As I said, like BW up to BW 7.4, you can create the objects. But when the system moves to BW for HANA 7.5 onwards, they stopped to use this modeling screen or GUI, and they moved all this functionality to the HANA Studio. Here you can see HANA Studio. Here you can see HANA Studio, right? So this HANA Studio is nothing but Eclipse. If you are aware of the Eclipse, you can if you are aware of Eclipse, there also you can connect to the BW system just by importing the required BW client tools into the Eclipse. Then you can connect to the BW system. But SAP in the initial days they released the HANA Studio. So using this HANA Studio, you can connect it to the different software windows. Like you can connect it to the HANA database, and you can connect to the ECC systems. You can connect it to BW system, Even you can open the Java windows also here to Java editors you can open, and you can connect to your Tomcat servers also. So let us create this. Let us click on the HANA Studio so that it will open HANA Studio for us. Actually, I have connected to the HANA Studio initially itself. Once you open your HANA Studio, it will open like this, but it won't show you any objects here. Okay, here you can see open perspective in the rightmost corner, top corner. You can see open perspective. So here you go, then you can see the different perspectives. This perspective is nothing but opening the relevant window. If you go for the, if you want to do some HANA development work, just click on it so that it will open your development window. And modular the same thing. And here if you go up, you can open the above window where you write your SAP coding. And BW modeling, here we do our required modeling work here we do. Okay, so here already I'm in the BW perspective. Even if you click on this BW modeling, open, first it will ask you to already we have connected to one system here. That's why it is asking you to connect to the this system. So if you know the BW objects already, the server connections and everything, if you know, just you give the password so that you can connect it. Or else here you can see new. Okay, from here also you can connect it to your BW system, BW project. You can connect directly here. Or you can see here, from here also you can connect to the BW project. Once you click on the BW project, the system will show you all the available servers here. Actually, basis people already they create all these other things, right? SAP basis is nothing but they will take care of the servers, SAP servers. The security side they will take care of. They will install the required softwares, upgrades, and the server maintenance work. Everything will be done by the SAP basis people. So they will take care of all these connections and everything. Just you, if you want to go with your connection, here you select your connection. Just select next, so that here it will give the required. We need to give the required parameters, connection parameters, application server, instance number. So these are the things we give here. Then go to the next screen. Here we provide password. So that what happens, you will connect to your BW server. BW project is nothing but here BW server you will connect. Servers are different servers they maintain at the client place generally, like production server, development server, database server, I mean test servers. And if any only for one particular modules, if they want to maintain the different server, they can maintain that one also. So here already I have created some of the server connections. These are all the connections actually. Okay, once you connect to this server, join the server, this connection, then the system will display available objects. If you are familiar with your MySQL or any database systems, you can understand so easily, right? If you connect to the database it will show all the schemas and tables and fields, everything it will list out. The same way here is also. Let us connect to this database. Let us connect to the server. So once you double click on this one, here it will ask you to enter your credentials, enter your password, then system will take you to the BW system. It is opening, it is connected, it has connected to the BW system. And you can see some of the things here already. It looks already I have created one more. Already I have opened some session previously. So the previous sessions, whatever I worked on it, it will open those things here by default. And under this node, sorry, under this node you can see favorites, BW repository, and data sources. These are the things you can see here, right? So data source, this is first thing we need to focus on it. Data source, data source is bringing the data from the other party systems or third party systems, whether the system is, whether it is SAP or non SAP or flat file, whatever. We suppose the customer maintains your sales application, sales data, it's one sales application, and purchases they maintain in the some other application, and production data they, I mean production, plant data they maintain in the some other application, some other software suppose they are using. So all this data we need to bring into the data warehouse system, right? That's what we have to do. So what the SAP has done here, they given some of the standard data sources here. You can see this here, right? Standard data sources are there. Of course, source systems connections also we can maintain. If you see the ODP SAP or ODP BW or ODP SAP CDS views and ODP's file and HANA local database schemas, these are all standard source systems. Once you install your SAP BW system default will show you these folders. Okay. Currently, we are going to work on flat file. That's why this is the our source system. Okay. What we do here? Source system. Once you click on it, it is showing different type of source systems. This is the folder only. Under this folder, you can see all the file related source systems only. This icon is telling us this is the source system this is telling. Okay, if you want to create your own source system, you can create. If you create any source system here by selecting this one, right click, and if you go with the source system, then it will create a source system that is specifically allow you to bring the data from the flat file only. The same way for the other data sources also. Here whatever they are showing, ODP operational data provisioning. ODP means operational data provisioning. So from this ODPs, this is SAP ODP. Here if you open it, this is showing ECC, S4HANA, T90. So different source systems we have maintained here. We have, in the sense, someone has created all these source systems. Someone means here SAP basis people. Okay. Okay. So before creating this flat file, let us first understand the flat file structure. Okay. I will open one flat file structure for you here. Once we understand it, that then we can understand the data source, whether we create the data source or directly we design the object. Okay. So we need to understand the first flat file structure, then we can understand what are the objects we need to create in the BW system. Here, let me open the, okay, here you can see one table. Okay, this is, here I'm using not this one. Let me go to some other. I will go to some other unit. Sale actuals, customer is there, cost is not there, sales actuals, order volume actuals. Okay, here is some customer is here. Okay, I will take this customer ID. Okay. Oh, these many customers are there. So we need to provide the customer name also. Customer name is there. Any customer name, customer forecast, customer master is here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here I have one customer master. Okay. I have customer ID, customer name, sub-region, and region I have maintained here. Okay. And if you look at the order volume actual, here is the customers. Okay, this customer actually they have their name and which region they belongs to and which sub-region he belongs to, what is his name, everything is available in the other sheet. That's what I have maintained here, right? And customer master, this is the customer master. Here I have maintained this data. So what happens if I go this customer forecast or order volume forecast, what I'm expecting if I click on this customer, then if it will go and read the data from the other sheet, right? Like that, generally we design our Excel sheets systems, and even the MySQL database systems also we design like that only. So it means here I maintain the key only, key of that table. Which table? Customer master data table. The first field is the key. That key here I'm using as the foreign key so that I'm maintaining the some transaction data here, right? So what I'm going to do first, I will create one master data table like customer master. That's what here I'm going to do. Customer master. So this data first I want to bring to the BW system. Here I'm maintaining one Excel sheet. So I want to bring this data into my BW system. Okay. As I said, like this is the master data because their name is almost constant for forever. Okay, unless they go for the changing of their name and region and sub-region also. So let us understand first how do I bring this data into the BW system. So here, as you see here, in the data source, what we do, we need to bring that flat file into this BW system. Okay. Before bringing the flat file data into the BW system, first let us understand what we need to create in the BW system where we store the data. Let us first design the target. Okay. Later we can join our target with the source. So what is our target now? In the last video, I said like to maintain your masters, you need to create one characteristic info object. Okay. That's what here I'm going to do. In the BW repository, if you open the BW repository, here also it is showing lot of folders, right? Info areas it is showing. New info area. So let us create first one info area. As I said, like whatever the required objects in the sense required master data objects, whatever we required, those all the master data objects we collect and group together and put into the one info area. Like as I said, like in the I shown you in this flat file, right? Here, say suppose order value actual. This is the one master data column. This is another master data column. This is another master data column. Sub-region and customer. These are all the master data objects for us. This is only the transaction data. Transaction data is nothing but numerical values with units or without units. Those are connected to the master data. Okay. So here, this is the first objective for us, first requirement for us to upload this data into our BW system. So that's why here I'm creating first one master data object. To create the master data object, here you go, new info area. Every time not required to create the info area, right? Just to keep our required objects into one folder. That's what here we are trying to do. Once we create the info area, then you can create the required info objects into this folder, right? So here I'm giving name of this info area, I'm giving like vehicle transaction data, right? So I'm giving the, sorry, oh, wait. Okay, sorry. So here, what I'm doing, uh, not vehicle, I will use some sales, not the transaction data. This is actually master data object. So I will give vehicle only. Man, oh, wait. Okay, vehicle master I'm maintaining. Okay, so this is the test data vehicle master I'm giving here. Finish it. So I have created one info area. Where is this one? Here it is showing, right? This is showing one folder. If you open it, nothing will show you. This is just a plain folder. Okay, there is nothing important. Just to only to find our objects where we have stored or grouping. We are just grouping our objects, right? So this is just a folder only. So in this folder, what I'm going to do, if you click the right click here, you see new. Here it is showing lot of objects. You can create lot of objects here. Here you see info object. This is what we require, right? In the previous video also we have discussed. Okay, info object master, to create the master, to maintain the master data, first you need to create one info object. What type of info object? Actually info objects are here two types. One is the characteristic info object, another one is the key figure info object. Info object is nothing but a column name or number of column names, a group of column names. Simply you can remember info object is you can maintain one characteristic info object or key figure info object, whatever the object you create, but these objects are just to maintain the field names. In our Excel sheet, we have shown you, I have shown you this one, right? This is one characteristic info object. Of course, this brand may have the additional information, just like customer. Is having the additional information. Okay, for this column, whatever the column is there, this column is nothing but info object. Whether you extend this column to some extent or not, it is up to us, depending on our requirement. So every column we need one info object. Then we collect all the info objects. We create one more info object that is called info provider. So for every column, actually, we need to create one info object. If it is the order units, it is the numeric value. We know that. That's why we create one key figure info object. For rest of all the columns, we need to create characteristic info objects. So that's why here I'm connecting to this again. I'm opening this one. Here, first let us focus on the customer info object. So here new, go to the, where is this info object? Yeah, here. Info object. Here it is showing, you see, characteristic. Info object type it is showing. So what is this one? It is showing you want to create the key figure info object or characteristic info object, or you want to create unit or XSL info object. Let us first focus on the simple things, characteristic and key figure. Okay, that's why here I'm taking the characteristic. Then you can define your data type. It is just like similarly to the database design, right? In the backend, if you create one table, there you create all the fields, right, in the table. So for the every field, you need to provide the data type. The same way here, BW also, we need to define what data it is going to collect, what data type it is going to collect. Okay, is it going to collect the char or numeric or date or time in format or signed in numeric characteristic, what type of data it is going to collect. That's what here we need to define. So first, let us go with the character string. Now I'm using the jet customer. I'm not sure whether this is there or not, this object. Generally, SAP suggests if you are creating any new objects, okay, whether if you are creating a new objects, those objects you start either with Z or Y, because these are the customer defined objects. There are different type of objects. Some of the objects are delivered by SAP itself. That is called generally business content. SAP has delivered some of the business content. They simply starts with the alpha alphabets, irrespective of its irrespective of what type of objects they are all simply start with alphabets. Alphabets in the sense, suppose if it is a customer object, they simply maintain the customer. If it is a region they maintain. But that's why to classify to classify from the business content, we maintain our own nomenclature we maintain, or we maintain our own naming convention for the objects what we create for our own requirement. Okay, that's why SAP suggests to create either with Z or Y. I go with Y here, okay, just for difference. Y customer I am defining. Okay, here I'm giving like customer. Copy from reference info object. Of course, these are all simply like you can copy if already any object is there. If you want to take the structure of that object, you can just simply copy from that object. A reference info object is also the same kind of thing. I will explain you later these two things, copy from. Okay, once the scenario I build, then I will explain you how it will work. For now, I'm creating this info object, Y customer. Okay, this is the screen. Here you see there are some settings like external SAP HANA view for master data, for reporting. I will come to these options later. Okay. Now, whatever we have maintained, the data type, it is showing data type. Now you need to define the length and output length. Whatever the length you give here, the same length it is showing because of the conversion routine. This conversion routine is nothing but one program. Okay, the SAP has delivered program this one. So there are different type of conversion routines you can maintain. Your own routines also you can maintain. Here, SAP, this conversion will take care of converting your object's length from the input length to the output length. That's what here alpha. Right now, I'm not selecting any other options. Just main focus is on creating the master data object and load the data from the flat file to the this target object. Okay, here this is the important part actually, properties. What I said in the blackboard, your customer ID you create. Okay, this customer ID you need to connect it to the customer attributes or properties or uh, extra properties, whatever the properties you want to assign, like age or ethnic group or any additional properties or region or sub region, whatever there. So if you want to join your customer ID table with the other table, first you need to create one more table, right? To join. That's what here we are doing. If you select the master data, the system what system will understand that okay, you are going to create one more table, and this table is going to join with the other table. So that's what here. Once you select this one master data, it will create one more table. The table is having the relation with the main table in the sense customer table. And you can see here test. I said like in this, is it this one where I said I have shown you, yeah, here, right? Here I shown you, right? This is the customer ID table we are first creating. Then this is the additional properties of this customer table. That's what here we are doing master data maintenance. Once you check that one, system will understand that it should generate one more table with the relation. It will maintain the relation itself. You don't need to define foreign key, primary key, those things we do not need to maintain. The system will understand and it will build a relationship with the customer ID column. And test, it will build one more table. And hierarchy, it will build one more table. That's what here you can see in this screen. So test I'm selecting, and of course hierarchies also I'm selecting. Yeah. These properties we understand later. What is this one? Okay. Usable as info provider, authorization, relevant, or attribute only. Later we can understand it. Right now I'm maintaining only this. See, once I select these properties, let me uncheck this one, uncheck this one. Here these two are disabled, right? Master data. Once I check this one enabled. External SAP HANA view for master data. Once we understand this, after creating this one, I will show you how do we utilize this object to see the data from the HANA database. Okay. For now, I'm not enabling this one. Just my main focus is to load the data from flat file to this object. And if you enable this usable as info provider, this option also enabled. You can see external SAP HANA view for reporting. Okay, these two things are there. Keep in mind, I have enabled master data, test, and hierarchy tables, and usable as info provider also. Let me uncheck this one, not this one. Okay, yeah, let me uncheck this one for now. It is not info provider at all. I will tell you later what is the why do we need this option. Okay, for now my main focus is on to build the data warehouse for the master data to maintain customers, to maintain the customer master data. That's what here I am doing. Okay, so after creating this one, see, just simply I'm telling to the system, I'm telling to the system, okay, take the master data, create the master data, okay, and test and hierarchy. So just it will create the table first. In the table, what are the fields it should maintain? That is the different case. In the test, by default, it will create the three tables. That is the system behavior. And hierarchies, how many hierarchies you maintain, that is the different matter again. First, it will activate. It will allow us to maintain the master data. It will allow us to maintain the test. It will allow us to maintain the hierarchies. That's what here. After selecting these are the properties for this customer, you need to activate this object. Here you see activate BW object, right? Once you activate this one, it will create the required tables in the backend. It is creating the required metadata objects and the tables. Okay, so okay, here you see characteristic, it is active now. Okay, This object status is active. Once after one thing you must we missed something here. Actually, here you see tabs, master data in the bottom. You can see master data, test, hierarchies, attributes, BA clients, extended. Right? These are the tabs here we have. Master data. Already we have activated the master data and test also. That's why here the test table, what are the things we require, it is showing. I said it will support the language dependent and time dependent also it will support. And here this is one important thing, master data maintenance with authorization check. This is one important thing. Just keep in mind later we use this one. And hierarchies. So hierarchy table also I have activated, right? So here it is showing hierarchy, hierarchy types you can define, required settings you can maintain. Later we see this one. Okay. Right now I have activated. Sorry. Go to the general tab. Here I have activated the master data object here. Okay. Now you can expand the characteristic here in the night in the left navigation in the project explorer. You can see now wake customer object has been activated and created and activated this object. Okay, now we need to understand what are the tables it has been created. Oh, actually something we missed here. Okay, so let me share. Yeah, here actually we are selecting the master data, right? Once you select the master data, you can see here master data test tab has been opened, right? The similarly test, if you select the master data test for these two, the same tab is there. Okay, and attributes tab also open now, right? Attributes tab also open now. And go to the general now. And if you go to the hierarchies, for hierarchy also one tab open here, you can see, right? So if you go for these attributes, see nothing is here, right? So that's what we need to understand. If you want to add any additional information here, you can add it. Additional information in the sense whatever the columns you want to add, those column names again you create as an object and you can add it. So that's what here I'm doing. Here what I'm going to do, here I'm selecting the three checkboxes. I'm selecting and language dependent default I'm making it as the English language only. Okay, and here hierarchies I'm going here. Okay, you create one hierarchy also I can tell, and your hierarchy may be the version dependent or time dependent. These are all advanced things. We discuss these things in the later sessions. Okay, for now we have activated these things and just only the attributes we need to maintain. First let me reactivate this object. Okay, so here again I'm reactivating because test table I have updated. Other than it, nothing I have done, right? So this is how actually we create one info object. Okay, info object has been created. That's fine. So overall what I said, it is now ready to allow you to enter the master data. Is it right? No, not ready to allow the master data, not ready to allow the attributes, because the we have just activated only this table. We have activated customer ID and we prepared the system to create the other table, and we prepared the system to create the test table, and we prepared the system to create the hierarchy table. Their columns we have not yet defined. In these attributes we have not yet defined the columns of this table. Here we have defined like test, long test, short test we have seen, right? In this hierarchy also we have not yet ready prepared the any columns. Default columns are there, but we have not yet prepared any additional columns here. But here we have not yet prepared any columns in this table. That's what here we need to understand. In this attributes tab here, this is the attributes tab, right? So here again you can create the required column names as an objects. Okay, so first let us focus on this characteristic info object. What are the things, what are the objects we can create here? We need, suppose, let us go with the customer. What is our excel file? It is showing customer master. Where is customer master? Customer master, yeah, customer id. For this customer id I have prepared. Now it has to prepare customer name. Of course test table will accept the customer name, and sub-region and region, two more fields we need to accept. We need to load the data for the two more fields. Those two more fields you can maintain here as an attribute. Attribute is nothing but additional information, right? Additional information, or you can simply call it as property of this object also. So here, from here itself, you can create a column name. It is nothing but info object. Or if already existing something in your sheet, in your catalog, or in your any info area, those things simply you can add here itself. Okay, so in the next video I will add attributes, because attributes is the separate topic. So far we get to know that how to create an object that is for the master data. Okay, in the next video I will release how to create the attributes and how do we load the master data from the flat file to this object. Okay, thank you, thanks for watching.